Hello, everybody. Renzo here. Okay, this is a critique of some of the works that some of my patrons have done this month. Some paintings and drawings. Okay, what I usually do is I just make corrections with Photoshop. I paint on top of the paintings. This is from Nicolia. Okay, I have 5 paintings to critique. Okay, let's see. One thing that I see different, is that this face is tilted like this and this is not tilted like that. Okay, now when that happens, and that's pretty common that usually happens, when that happens, what I used to do is just I turn the picture, I rotate the picture a little bit to match my painting. That way, that's going to be easier for me to compare. Okay. After I do that, what I do is I check out values. Okay. I make the image a little bit darker and I can just compare the lights and shadows. Okay. Hello Sheila, Happy New Year. Okay, now look at that. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, everything is pretty close. Yeah. Okay, another thing is I check out proportions. Okay. Now you can use a proportional divider, a ruler, anything just to measure. For example, the regular proportions are this. From the eyebrows to the nose is the same distance to the chin. Okay. Obviously, this is not 100% perfect. That change from person to person. But if we just keep an eye on this and regularly during the process of painting, we check out, we measure, we're gonna have an advantage because we all know that while we paint, usually as we apply the oil paint, we start moving the drawing. Okay, and then the eyes move a little bit up or down. The only way to have to control that is just checking. If we paint with the photograph next to our painting and it has the same size, we can just check out like this, which is what I used to do when I paint. I usually have a picture to my left and I print out the picture to the same size that I'm planning to paint. Look at that, everything is pretty close. That's pretty good. Okay, next thing, reverse it. That's not in a specific order, but those are the things that I used to check out. I reverse it to compare, to see differences. Okay, I see something different here, the mandible. Okay, I think the shape of the mouth, the nose, the eyes are pretty good, are pretty close. It's more about here, the shape of the mandible, and here, maybe narrow this side of the face. Okay, let's see, because what I used to do is do some retouches and then see if that works. Okay, and since I create a new layer to do the retouches, what I do, for example, I retouch here or retouch here, and then I do this to see if the retouches just are okay or not. Okay. No. Oh, hello, Mantosh from India. Okay. Hello, Jonas. Hello, Petra. Okay. Now, now, for example, I squint down my eyes and try to see the darker areas on the face. When I see the picture and I squint down my eyes, I'm gonna use red. Okay, I see that the eyes are dark. Okay, nostrils, the corner of the mouth. Maybe I should use another color. Okay, that's a darker one. Here, here, a little bit there. Okay, I don't see the same on the painting. Well, I see that the hair is pretty dark. That's good. Okay. Now, another thing that I do, I start comparing, just thinking about simplification. For example, and all the things that I mentioned, you have to do the same with your painting. You put your photograph, your painting next to the photograph, and just repeat what I say. Just not for this painting, for every painting. Okay, for example, this angle. How tilted is this angle? Okay, I see a little bit of a difference there. Okay. Now, you do the same here. There's one. And then when there's a curve, you split that curve in 2 or 3 portions. That's easier just to do it. Okay. And I see something different there on the mandible. Okay. About color, color is something that since everybody is so worried about color being so difficult. But color, once we got the values right, we can just retouch color so many times. Just being careful just to keep the values. We can just add glazes, work with a dry brush, and we can do it again and again so many times. As soon as we don't break up the value structure, the painting is going to be okay. But when the value structure is not good, then we need to pay attention to the values first and thinking about color later. Okay? Oh, I have a question here. Hello, Moses. The young saying, what do you do when the photo is smaller? Oh, yeah, I always try to print out the picture as the same size of the painting. Portrait is pretty difficult. Just imagine that you got, usually we work with a photograph that is smaller, just like this, pretty tiny, and we make it bigger. Now imagine that you have a photograph that is just 8 feet long, it's huge. What's gonna happen if you try to make it smaller? The same, difficulty that you're gonna face with that is the same thing that you're facing when you're drawing from a smaller photograph. You need to make it bigger. Just turn up a program or something just to make it bigger. Okay, I'm gonna start retouching here. Okay, here too. Now, when I'm doing this with oil paint, what I do is I retouch a little bit, and then I use a mirror to check out. Okay, and sometimes holding the mirror, I try to do some retouches. Few of them because it's pretty difficult to hold the mirror and do a retouch. But just tiny things that, for example, look at this area here. There. You see the difference there? The difference it could be that maybe you need to add light here, or maybe you need to just to narrow the chin. Which one is going to be? Now that's the thing that we end up doing both sometimes. Here, retouching here and there, because we're not so sure. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and at the same time I'm going to just make it a little bit lighter here. Okay, I think that was too much. Yeah, just there. Okay, something that I would love to retouch, that's the hair, this hair that's falling down here. I'm gonna use green to show it this. Okay, I think that's gonna help us. Okay, now how close is this to the corner of the eye? Okay, as I'm doing this, I'm trying to measure visually, just visually, what's the distance to the corner of the eye to the hair. Okay. Okay. Now, here I have to correct this angle here. The hair, the head here a little bit smaller. Okay, now let's go to the face. On the eyes, for example, look at the difference between the values. Okay, it's gonna be better if you squint down your eyes. In that way you can compare. Okay. Now, I will make this a bit darker. In here, darker too. The upper eyelid, darker too. Here, upper eyelid. You didn't paint the upper eyelid. Okay, look at the eyebrow. Usually, sometimes we make the mistake to paint the eyebrow just darker from one end to the other end, like that, just like that. But if you see the eyebrow here on the picture, look what happens if I do that. It's not like that, you see? It's not like that. Okay. That's why I say squint down your eyes and then copy just the darker spot here. There. Okay. Then you're gonna notice that you're gonna need to light up here. Okay. Let's continue with the eyes. I will make the irises a little bit bigger on one side and here too a little bit. Okay, this eyebrow is pretty good. Yeah. Okay, continue with the tear duct. Now the nose, the same. I squint on my eyes and I see that this is darker here a little bit. Now check out the picture. Okay, here is almost black, the iris. The iris is, look at that, it's black. But this is not like that, it's not black. The line between the lips is not black. Okay, there's a difference between the values. Now, you got that pretty good on the painting. Just when you make it darker, just be sure not to make it that too dark. There, and then there. Now, for the corner of the mouth, the width of the nose, something that we used to do when we paint, you check out alignments. This, for example, the corner of the mouth is aligned with the pupil, or closer to be aligned with the pupil, or the inner portion of the iris. The same here, just compare that. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Yep. Pretty close. We all want, every portrait we paint to be like 100% close, but that's kind of pretty difficult. In my case, if I got to 70% of 80% of the likeness, I'm pretty happy. Okay. There. Now, something about her face. The eye bag here, the lower eyelids, and this, the smiling wrinkles, let's say. Okay, now mm, I could do this with a dry brush. Just pick up a liner brush or a round brush and just lightly. First, check out the angle. Okay, this has an angle and yours is like that. Look at the difference between the angles. Okay. Now, when you know the angle, you try just to copy first the angle, just that. You can use a ruler or a pencil and compare this portion here with the eye. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now you do the same here. Is that good? Yeah. Yeah. Here. Okay. Now I think this lower eyelid is a little bit up, the shadow, and here's the same, a little bit up. Okay. To get the volume on the cheek, you gotta imagine just a simple or a primary form, the sphere. Okay, remember light, midtones, shadow, core shadow, reflected light. Here, there is a core shadow there. Okay, why? Because basically that's a spherical form. You need to recreate that, and when something that helps us is just think about primary forms. Okay, a little bit of a shadow there. Next to a core shadow, there is always a reflected light. It's gonna be here too, here too. Okay. Now here too, there's a core shadow there. With a dry brush, just go lightly. The only problem with a dry brush is that you're gonna need to just do this maybe twice, because when it dries, it's like a dry brush is just like a dry glaze. Okay, and it means that this is transparent. Okay. Here, the pupil is pretty dark, but you painted her eyes blue, or maybe the photograph didn't show, is not showing the color of her eyes. But anyway, the pupil is always dark. Now, look at the upper eyelid. It's not a continuous line like that. Here's a bit darker. Okay, here's a bit darker. Looks like it has the same, value, or the same, darkness here and there. Okay, there. Now, you gotta just make it darker here. For this, you could just oil out that area first, and with a liner brush, you just paint. No, with a dry brush. You can use a little bit of linseed oil, and then you paint that. Okay. Now, let's see the retouches. Okay, I'm gonna just reverse it. Now what I'm doing, I'm just moving my eyes really fast between picture and painting, trying to find the mistakes. Okay, another thing that I see here is a shadow, and it's a shadow that is here. Okay, just make it a little bit darker. There. Now, let's go back to normal picture. The highlight on the nose is a little bit up. It's not that bright. You can keep it that bright, but just a little bit up. Around here. Okay. Oh, what program is this? This is Photoshop. Thank you, Rupert. You say left side of the mouth must be pulled to the left. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is Photoshop. Hola, Carlos. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, I still see that something could be a little bit off on the mandible. Yeah. Mm, yeah. I'm going to make the mandible in this side a little bit wider, a tiny bit wider. Okay, it could be the shadow too. Could be a shadow that you need to paint here. Okay. Now, one thing here on the lower eyelid, there is a curve here. This curve is because of the eyelashes. It's pretty subtle. Okay, but here it's pretty straight, pretty horizontal. Okay, use a tiny liner brush, and just slightly, just like dabbing with the brush. Some touches, trying to more than trying to paint the eyelashes. Think about getting the curve, this curvy form, this curvy. Okay, and with that you can paint the eyelashes now on top. The same here. These eyelashes coming from the corner, moving down. Okay, and then some eyelashes there. Okay. Now about the color, color is something that you can just retouch with a glaze. A glaze is a transparent layer. You let it dry, oiled out everything, and you pick up a color like light orangey, pretty light orangey color, and you paint on top, and you change the color. Okay, make it a bit more orangey, a bit pinky. That's pretty close to what happens when we use a glaze. Okay, okay. Last thing, you just let it dry for to do those retouches with a glaze. Okay, pretty transparent, like you're using watercolor. Last thing here, that would be the light on the nose. Just think about the light like it's just one line, and it's just like this, and here it looks like this. You see the difference? Now you're gonna just paint here a little bit, knock down the light here, and trying to make it look like pretty vertical. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Now, yeah. The last thing, the neck, a little bit darker. Yeah. Okay, pretty beautiful painting, and that would be for today with the retouches. And after the retouches, I mean, show me again the painting to see, because retouching a painting is just silly. To go step by step. We make some retouches, we check out, and we retouch again. Yeah, just it's always just like that. It's not just one retouch and that's it. We need to rest our eyes from the painting and then check out again. Okay, I'm gonna save it. Okay, now let's move to the next one. This is from Kevin. Let's see Kevin's drawing. Okay. Okay. Now, I don't have the photo reference. You know what I'm going to do is just critique in the things that I know about the face. Okay. And one thing that I could say first. Okay, I've noticed, for example, the alignment of the eyes is pretty good. That means that the drawing or the structure of the drawing is good. Okay, the center of the face too, eyebrows. I think proportions are pretty good. The size of the hand in relationship to the face, to the head, I think is good. You know, I could say maybe, oh, that's a kind of a, maybe the hand is too big, but I have seen people with just big hands, and you know, who knows, right? When I reverse it, I see more clearly that the hand is too big. But let's say for now that is okay. One thing, outlining this or outlines this all these lines, you need to control some of them. When you outline everything, you make the drawing look cartoonish. Okay, there is softness. There is always usually there are more soft edges, kind of soft and blurry lines than sharp ones. Okay, yeah. Let's think about the face now. Uh, I don't know. I think the light is coming from the left. Okay, seeing the shadow here on the hand makes me think that the light is coming from the left. But I gotta say at the same time that the light on the face, it doesn't show that exactly. But because of the hand, we know the light is coming from the left. If the light is coming from the left, okay, there's gonna be a cast shadow from the nose on the mustache. Okay, that would be one thing. The other thing that the nose, you need to add a shadow below the nose here. Okay, there is a shadow, and when you paint this shadow, you need to add another shadow there. That's what we call core shadow. For the people that don't know what's a core shadow, just look for any sphere on YouTube, on internet, on Google, and you're gonna see what was a core shadow. Here's the same, a core shadow there. Okay, and soften those lines. Okay. Now we continue with the shadows. Now here, there's gonna be a shadow here too. When we don't have a reference, we basically we use obviously the knowledge we have, and we use the knowledge we have about primary forms. What are the primary forms? The primary forms are the sphere, the cone, the cylinder, and the box. Okay? Hello, Candia. Okay, let's continue here. Now you need the shadow there, shadow here, pretty sure. Shadow from the upper eyelid, the white of the eye. There's always shadow there. Shadow here for the upper part of the eye socket. Shadow here because the eyes are just like cylinders. You need a shadow and a core shadow. Shadow here. Shadow. Okay. When it's about light, you need to make a difference between the lights. Everything follows the same principle about the primary forms. Okay, if I think about that on the beard, I could think, hey, you know, the beard is kind of follows the form of the face. It means that it has to be kind of rounded, like that. Yeah, there's gotta be an area where there's more light. Gotta be here, pretty sure. Okay, here too. If I just paint the beard completely light, I'm making the beard flat. Now, about the lights and highlights in the face, all of them are not the same. Just one tool that we all need to have is a value scale, just to remind us that everything that we paint and we draw it has a lot of values. Okay, some of them could be pretty similar, but a lot of them are just different. For example, the highlight on the nose, that's the one that should be the lightest one. Why? Because the nose is coming forward from the face. We cannot paint the highlight here and paint a highlight here, for example, and the same highlight on the eyes. No. We try to create something three-dimensional, the illusion that is something three-dimensional. Okay? We need to make a difference, and if you don't see the highlight as a highlight, it means that you need to darken up more other values. It's just like it's the same when we draw. When we draw, if we don't see highlights, it means that we need more shadows. We need to add more charcoal or graphite on the paper, more and more, until we see the lights. When there is no shadow, there is no light. Okay, now look at that. Now, for example, the eyebrows, exactly what I said to the other painting, to Nicolia's painting. The eyebrow is not going to be like that. There's going to be an area where it's darker. Usually here, here in the corner, here, okay? The shadow, a little bit darker here, a little bit darker here. Okay. Now, look at that. It has a bit more volume. Yeah? Now, with the hand, it's the same. Shadow there, shadow. Shadow there. Okay. Okay, I think with that is okay. Well, cast shadow from the head, on top of the head. Okay. Now look at that. What I did it was adding more shadow. I don't know if the picture is I mean, the photograph is pretty accurate with the painting. Sometimes we got some glare. About colors, I think it's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, this is pastel, I see some greenish color, some skin color. Yeah. Just be sure about these areas here. Soften them, add some skin color. Don't make it those too sharp. We start every drawing with lines. Yeah, that's okay. But as we continue just shading, adding details and kind of sculpting the form, we start getting rid of the lines. Okay. Okay. I think that's it with Kevin's drawing. I'm gonna save it. Okay. Oh, thank you, Petra. Hello, Shayla. Oh, Shayla saying the most important thing to me about the last portrait was the term core shadow values. Yeah, yeah. Core shadows are everywhere. Just check out a sphere. You're gonna find out there. And in Google, you just look for a sphere. You're gonna see the shadows there. Midtones, shadow, core shadow, reflected light, cast shadow, all of that. Okay, let's move to the next one. Okay, this is from Moses. Moses, he draws really good. This draw is pretty close to the photograph. We did draw this on a couple of weeks ago, I think, on the drawing session. Yeah, I when you're that close to the likeness, sometimes it's difficult to know what's wrong. But we follow the same steps about checking. Okay, one thing, values. For that, we squint down our eyes, or we could use the cell phone and do this. Look at that. Everything is pretty close, yeah? If I gotta say that something is different, I could say here. I don't see the same light there. Yep, but it's pretty close. Now, I check out on a mirror. Okay, usually when you do this, it's just a bit easier to see differences. I see a little bit of a difference here on the eyebrow. Okay, but just something that maybe is not that important. It's pretty good. The drawing, the values, the structure, everything is pretty good. Edges. Okay. Now, one thing that we used to do, check out alignments. Check out, for example, the corner of the mustache with the eye. This is a common alignment when we draw a face. Is a front view and a tricker view. This and this. Teardrop with the nose. That helps a lot. Okay, okay. Something that I'm comparing here, this shape here. Okay, and this shape here. And you see the difference between the shape, one and the other? This one is higher. The other one is shorter. Yeah? Yeah. It means that maybe you need to erase a little bit up here. Make his eyebrows a little bit thinner. I mean, he has thick eyebrows, just a little bit. Yeah, it could be that. Like I said before, pretty difficult when the drawing is that good. when it's pretty accurate. Um, Something here in this area. I don't know if we see in the ear, maybe, or yeah, I have a doubt here. Okay, just one second. Okay, that was my little cat. Okay, now I think the face is just here. Okay, this is the upper part of the eye socket, and here it goes like this to the cheekbone. And this little thing maybe could be the portion of the ear. Okay, yeah, because usually on a trickery view we see a curve here like that. Cheekbone, it's not like that pronounced all the time, you know, but yeah, I think you could just draw a line there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, I think just that, you know, it's pretty good drawing. Pretty good drawing, Moses, as usual. Yeah. Okay, last thing maybe the nose here. I think it's a bit narrower. Yeah, it could be about the shadow there, a little bit of a shadow here, and these two, just a tiny bit. Okay, another thing that I see, for example, every time that I compare something, I kind of think about the overall shape. When I see the mustache, I think about the overall shape. Okay, I see a difference on the overall shape. You see this one? It's like he has more mustache. Yeah. And when I see that, it tells me that maybe if I should move the nose a little bit up or the mouth a little bit down. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't do anything. The drawing is pretty good. Pretty good. You know. Okay, but let's see. Okay, let's see here. If I move this up, that's gonna push the nose. You know, maybe it's just gonna be easier to move, or a little bit of both. The mouth a little bit down, you know. And I think there I see the mustache, you know, thicker. Yeah, maybe that's gonna make you erase a little bit here. Okay. Yeah. The only problem if you move something, then you start seeing checking out down. And I thought for a second, hey, what about the mandible, the chin? Maybe I should move that too. I don't think, you know, but that's usually when you move something, you start moving everything a little bit. No, but that's not the case. Yeah, that's not the case. I think just a little bit of that to have the mustache a little bit thicker. The eyebrow too. Double check my critique. Okay, I can make a mistake. Double check. If I make a mistake, obviously you say, hey, you know, I'm not gonna change or retouch this. that. Pretty good drawing, Moses. I'm gonna save it. Let's move. This is Gisela's painting. Okay. Oh, Rupert said maybe the point of the nose a little to the right. Oh, let's see again. Oh, it could be. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It could be. Look at that. Just a tiny bit. Almost nothing. Yep. Okay. Now, Gisela, when you begin the drawing, just try to be sure how tilted is the face. Okay, use something, or even print out an extra, picture, and trace some lines on top of the picture, and then compare. You see that it's tilted different. I always try to be pretty accurate on this. Why? Because I used to use these alignments. And these alignments between, for example, the corner of the mouth and anything that you can find that could work, the nose and the pupil, for example, here, this and this, okay? No one of these alignments is going to work if the face is tilted different. Okay, that's not gonna match the same alignment. Now, try to be pretty accurate from the very beginning. Okay, to how tilted are the eyes. Yeah. Okay, place the picture pretty close to be able to compare, because this is about comparing. Just that. Sometimes we forget to do that, but it's just something that's easy. The portrait alone, without comparing, is pretty good. One thing I don't know is that maybe if I should add more contrast. Maybe it's like this. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't think it's that soft. Yeah, I think it could be some more like this. Now, even that I'm saying, hey, don't try to keep the same, alignment with the photograph in tilted to the same direction. Sometimes when I'm drawing, I make that mistake. When I make that mistake, the only thing I do, I'm not gonna redraw my drawing again. No, that would be more difficult. What I have done so many times is just rotate the picture. Okay? Because I need to compare. Okay, look at that. I prefer that. Maybe you prefer rotate your drawing, that's perfect too. I just prefer to rotate the photograph. Look at that, it's pretty close. Yeah? Look at that. It's more difficult to compare when it's like this. It's easy to compare when it's like this. Now, one mistake that we all tend to make, that I keep repeating on the sessions, when the face is not in a perfect front view, you gotta first find the center line of the face. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, it's still kind of close. Yeah? Now, when the face is turning to one side, usually there is one side that's narrower than the other one. I'm saying this is a common mistake because I have seen like from 100 people, just 100 making the mistake. We tend to make both sides equal. It's like we tend to turn the face from a three-quarter view, or that is turned into a three-quarter view to a front view. Okay, it's kind of the same. We do the same. I don't know why. Who knows? I don't know why, but we tend to do that, and I have seen that so many times, and I have seen that on my paintings, my drawings. It's just our brain thinks, I think, kind of understand the image, the painting better when it's in a front view. Maybe it's about measuring or brain, it feels that it's going to be easier to measure when it's in a front view. Okay. Now, saying that, I gotta say that you need to make the face a bit wider on the left there. And a little bit narrower on the right. Now remember this, because this is gonna happen again. Yeah. And you gotta just be there aware that, hey, I'm gonna measure this because maybe I got this mistake. And the thing is that even when we know, we don't see it. Okay. Now look at that. Now let's reverse it and compare. Okay. Now look at that. Yeah. Okay. That makes a big difference. Yeah. The eyes are pretty good, you know. It's like all the proportions are pretty good. Just look at the mandible, how it changed the face. Now remember to check out this, because when I say that it's gonna happen again, I have seen this. Everybody making that mistake. I have made that mistake myself a lot of times. Okay, now we got that. Now let's check out values. Okay, for that, oh, I'm gonna get rid of this layer. Okay, now yeah, I gotta say that's kind of close, but you see something different there. The shadow here on the nose, I don't see the shadow. I'm gonna use red or green. I don't see the shadow there. Okay, I don't see the shadow here. I see the one here, that's good. The mouth has to be a little bit wider. Okay, the values on the eyes is good. Just look at the white of the eyes. It looks lighter both. And look at the shape of the forehead. Look at this angle there. Everything is pretty close, just few things. Now, it's impossible to see these things, obviously. If we squint down our eyes, we have our limitations. Now that we have technology, I would say use it. Use it. Okay? A cell phone, I think we could do all these things with a cell phone. I don't know, to be honest. I use Photoshop, but I see my kids, my daughter and my son using the cell phone to do a lot of things, edit videos and or a lot of things that I think everything could be done nowadays with a cell phone. Okay, now the mouth a little bit wider. Just make it wider on the corner. Here too. This is good. There is always a color shadow below the nose. And a bit more shadow here. And there. There too. And okay, now you need to make difference between the highlights. Which one is going to be the lightest one? Here, here, the highlight on the mouth, here. Okay, make a difference. Don't make this highlight like this, and this one like this, and this one like this, and this one like this. No, make a difference between them. Which one is going to be the brightest one? Bright and color and light on valley. Okay, I'm gonna light up the white of the eye. Okay, not that much because I know Gisela's work, and she loves some softness on every painting. She got this kind of magical softness on when she paints landscapes on any subject, and that's pretty good. That's beautiful. And just moving the upper eyelid a little bit down. Yeah. Oh, the other thing was the hair on the right side. Okay, I think a little bit of light here. Oops, that was too much light. Yeah, there's a little bit of shadow here, this and this. Okay, not that dark. I made it a little bit darker just for you to see it here. Here. Oh, that's too dark. As you retouch, remember, use a mirror. Every time, use a mirror. Okay, I think I could make the face even a bit wider here. Even a little bit more. I'm afraid to make a mistake and make it this too wider, but I think still I can just make it wider. Here there's a shadow there, like makeup on the eye. And this is the cast shadow for the hair. That's pretty good. Okay. Hey, I think just that. Yeah? Look at that. Yeah, one thing about this area of the mandible, sometimes we draw this portion just making the neck a bit darker, yeah, okay, and the face is lighter, okay, yeah. Now, that's not the case. You see, it's just this darker value that is here. I'm gonna make it a little bit darker, just on the edge. And the neck is a little bit lighter than that value, and then lighter here too. Okay. Now, what you got here is basically the neck a little bit darker. Yeah, you can make it lighter, and then make it darker on the edge of the face, a little bit. That's on the face, not on the neck. Okay, on the neck is a little bit lighter. Not as light as any highlight on the face. Oops. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna save it. And let's move to the next paint. Okay. Oh, I have a suggestion here. Rob Pert saying Krita is also great and an open source, so free. Krita, okay? You can use it, just free, yeah? Okay. Now let's see Petra's painting. Now, see the same that the face is tilted different. Okay, And you know what I'm gonna do? What I could do if this was my painting, I could rotate the picture. Okay. Now I could darken up both. Okay, I think values are good. Just one thing here that I see the light here. I think nobody sees this. Okay. Green. This portion here, I think it's too light. Yeah. When I see the face, I see light here, here, but I see a few difference between them, but here not. This too bright. Okay. Now let's rotate. Sorry, let's just reverse this. When I see it like this, I see it pretty close. Just I see one thing, you know, looks like the mouth. Looks like I got the feeling that I should move the mouth. Since now it's reverse, I got the feeling that I have to move the mouth to the right a little bit. Okay. Now one thing that we gotta always check out at the beginning when we just check out the center line of the face and proportions, we measure. You know, we do it visually usually on the. This painting is from the paint along lessons on Saturdays, and we draw and paint. Now we do that visually first, and then we measure. Okay, you measure this, this. You keep always, you know, an eye on that. If the distance, you know, from here to here is the same as this one, oh look at that, it's pretty close. Okay. Now, what we gotta do during the whole process is just checking that, because I think that you got the nose a little bit longer. Yeah, I think it's a little bit longer. Now, it could be about making the face, the chin, longer too, or making the nose shorter. I think it's about making the nose a little bit shorter. Okay? What it means that maybe you're gonna need to move the nose. Now remember, for that, you gotta keep measuring. Yeah, I think there. Yeah. Now there's a problem here. If you move the nose a little bit up, what's gonna happen with the mouth? Yeah, you know, the same. You need to move the mouth now. Now I was thinking moving the mouth a little bit up and to the left, and maybe rotate the mouth a little bit. Okay, let's see that. Yeah, I think it's better. Let's rotate. Now I gotta say that we all have mistakes. Painting a portrait is pretty difficult. We got this painting in 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, and that's almost no time to get a painting to this stage. Okay, and it's pretty common that we all have mistakes. Now I think it's better that, look at that. Yeah. Now let's check out the face. The center line of the face. Yeah, I think everything is pretty good. Just that she has the face a little bit wider here. Yeah. And about values, check out the values all over the face, and think about the values that you see on the picture. Where are the darker ones? Okay, remember, it's not like these are gonna be that dark and this that dark and this and no, no, we don't see all of them dark. There is always a difference between them. And in this case, the eyes. It's just like she has makeup and you need to make the eyes darker. Now the thing is, I don't know, I see a lot of glare on the picture. Maybe the eyes are darker. But if they are darker, don't do this. Yeah? The eyebrow, the same. It's gonna be darker in one area, not completely darker from one end to the other end. Touch here. Okay. Now, the next darker areas that are not dark like black, but is here and here. Now you got that here. That's pretty good. Okay. Here in the corner of the mouth, you can make it a bit darker. You got that too, but be a bit darker. Okay. About values is when you need to make a correction, and that's gonna be on this value. With a dry brush, paint, pick up, let's say this value here. Paint on top with a dry brush. Okay, here too. You can blend it here. The painting maybe is dry by now. You can just add linseed oil it out, and then paint again. There is a cast shadow from the hair here, and here too a cast shadow from the hair on the forehead and the eye. Okay. Here you can just blend this a bit. Okay. Now here you can just work on details. For example, look at this upper eyelid, how it goes down like that. It looks like it's continuous down. Yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, few retouches on values, and the movement of the nose and the mouth. Let me know if I made a mistake there. Okay, remember that this is about measuring. We gotta always keep an eye on that. If the thing is, we continue painting, and we forget every step is not every step that the process of painting, from drawing to the first value structure and then color edges, we gotta kind of repeat the same again. Go back to the first steps and check out. This happens just because we got distracted, and sometimes I got, in my case, I got more mistakes when I got distracted and I got too confident that it was getting to the end. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna check out anything. I think it's okay. And I trust on my eyes. I trust completely on my eyes, and I say, looks okay. I'm not gonna check out anything more because it's good. But what happens that our eyes got tired, and we cannot trust our eyes anymore after 4 or 5 hours of painting, and we notice the mistakes the next day. Okay, that's why I don't trust my eyes. I always measure. I learned to know, because so many times I was so confident that I'm doing good, values are good, drawing is good, and kind of stop, just measure, because I got bored. I didn't want to do it again. But uh, I nowadays, for a long time ago, that I just forced myself to just do it. I remember, I have a list on the wall in front of me about the things that I need to check out during the process. To don't forget, and to go over those again and again, again and again. Pretty good the painting, okay. I think what you got, the more, and that's the more important, are the eyes. You got the expression, yeah. Okay, pretty close. Yep, pretty close. Okay, yeah, I think just that. Yeah. Okay, that's it for today. Every Friday, I'm gonna critique at least 4 or 5 paintings from my patrons. Yeah, and thank you so much to my patrons for submitting your paintings. And see you all next week. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for the people that make a comment and helps in some way on the critique. I always appreciate, people pointing few things that sometimes I don't. Sometimes we don't. I mean, we're not able to see every little thing. You know. Okay. Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Petra. Thank you, everybody. Okay. See you all next time. Take care. Bye. I think I got. Oh no, it was this. Okay. Thank you, Moses. Thank you, Petra. Oh, thank you, Shayla. Thank you, Rupert. Yeah. See you tomorrow, Petra. Okay, bye.